Welcome back. Let's play some 10-minute games here on Shogi Wars. Good luck. Defend against major pieces by drawing them closer. Makes sense to me, I think. Hmm. Hang on. That looks like a pawn to me. Is it not a pawn? Hmm. How greedy am I? Um... Right, this isn't a pawn potentially. This is potentially much more than a pawn now. So the silver's trapped. The pawn is loose. I think I just castle here and stop trying to win material. I don't need material that badly. Okay, now that... This pawn is defended. Bishop takes silver, still a real threat. Hmm. Have I overstepped? I didn't think so. Oh, I don't even get a badge for that one. It's okay. Um, they've got all their pieces aiming at this square. Does make me nervous. And if that's the goal, well done. 1, 2, 3. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4 supporting this. Pawn up, knight takes silver. Yeah, let's attempt to defend this. I don't have the numbers for it, but failing to attempt to defend it doesn't make much sense either. The king's right there, so we'll bust open the center. Um,
7分
Sadly, I only have one piece attacking the square. Um... mhm. Here we go. Bishop takes or gold takes? I think bishop. I don't know. Now we're gonna give my rook somewhere to run to. This gives me the silver back in hand. And now I can pressure down the center file directly where the king is at. Silver drops, silver takes pawn is a threat. My opponent might just take my knight here. I'm also threatening to attack over there directly. Um... Hmm. Alright, we'll clear the way for my rook. Let's check. That's a bishop in hand. Take one of those. Start making threats. Or rather, start localizing these threats to my opponent's king.
5分
Thanks for the game. Interesting. Doesn't matter though. Alright, we'll just leave it there. I have no hope against this 1Q. They play all the good moves. 1 down, 2 to go. Defend against major pieces by drawing them closer. Except when doing that doesn't work, then don't do that. Hmm. This looks interesting. I think I've seen it before. Is that right? I don't see a king-rook fork here, so seems playable. Yeah, there is a pin, but I can break the pin with the bishop drop. Thanks for the game. Only slight hyperbole there. This looks really nice. This looks super nice. That looks even nicer. I think they meant to rook drop here instead. But take care. 2 down, 1 to go. Defend against major pieces by drawing them closer. Good luck. Just be careful about how close you're drawing them. Have at least the slightest bit of caution about that. Does this not count as Elmo Castle? I need to study my castles then. Hmm. Wait, is this pawn hanging? Hmm. It's not easy to defend. Hmm. Interesting. Let's target this one first. See if I can provoke some reaction and then maybe hit this next. Actually, I'm threatening a bishop drop here, which takes this pawn and otherwise doesn't do anything useful. But a pawn is a pawn. I don't really believe that, but interesting. Okay, well, let's spin to see how this turns out. Okay, free pawn? Question mark. This looks too fun to not do, so we'll do it. Yeah, so I maintain that the hidden ALO that supports the pairing system probably makes more sense than the visible ranking system. Which is to say that, like, when it says 1Q or 1 Dan or 2Q or whatever, people tend to give that a lot of credence. And I would caution against that. I would say, like, compute the player's actual hidden rank rating, um, as opposed to just blindly trusting what you see on the screen. Yeah, I check my overlay, because, I mean, what else can I do right here? The overlay looks fine. You can see the board and the pieces and all that. So the knight can't jump forward, because they'd be taken with a fork. Oh, I missed that. Um, hmm. I'll defend this square. Of course, horse over here is of some concern. Um, hmm. So, how do I not get wrecked here? Do I really need to drop the lance to support my gold? Or do I just move the silver? No, moving the silver is disgusting. It's possible. No, it's not. It loses a piece. Alright, so I need to support this gold. So I do. I could lance drop here. I don't see a next move. I think this is okay even if rook takes pawn. It's not a huge threat. Would be nice to have a knight to drop around here. So I can get a knight pretty soon. Hmm. Um, so we'll put this back on an open file, one that doesn't have a pawn on it, and see what my opponent's cooking up here. It's actually not so easy to defend that silver, is it? Unfortunately, you can't take friendly pieces and put them back in hand to redrop them elsewhere. Can you imagine if you could just, like, on your turn, take one of your own pieces and put it back into your hand? Slants, if they could, like, put it back in hand and then drop it here, you could teleport pieces across the board, essentially. Um, which would be wild. But no. I think I have things defended. I didn't draw this horse closer. That horse just dove right in. Um, my horse is sitting in the corner. My rook is trying not to be a target. In fact, they could have maybe drawn my rook in somehow. I don't know, but now the rook's going to be way too close. They also say a horse you would like to have somewhere around your own king, or you'd like to have your dragon or rook on the side of the board where the opponent's king is at. Um, just as a general guideline. Alright, so I defend my center pawn once more. The knight might not be a major piece, but I am defending against it. My opponent has nothing in hand. That's pretty dire for them. I can take this. Should I take this? It's actually not so clear.
7分。
I've had clearer positions than this one. Um, hmm, I want to escape my rook out of this mess. But then they play knight takes pawn. Ugh. Alright, the silver is loose. I need to remove it. Lance takes silver is indicated, although pawn drop on my rook's head might also be indicated here. Yeah. I missed that. Um... Hmm. So I'll just go swinging at their king now. What else am I supposed to target? Okay, that's a piece for a piece. They could exchange the rook for whatever ends up happening here. If they take their... they get a gold and a pawn for a rook. Oh, this is also possible. Um... I'll interject this move, as I would prefer not to have a dragon fighting my king. And I have another lance, and the other lance could target this pawn. So we could maybe get my opponent to block their own rook. After they do that, I take, and then I can take the bishop. Yeah, they have like 3 generals supporting their king and 2 more in hand ready to support the king. So I am not optimistic about my attacking chances here. So I'm trying to win material instead. Yep. Of course, there's a risk here. Hmm. Try to evict this horse. I'm still threatening bishop takes knight, but it's still not the most important move on the board. Still threatening it. Hmm.
5分。
What's going on here? I don't understand. Ah! That's what's the intent. Shouldn't I just take this? Welcome. A pawn is a pawn is a pawn. Yeah, this is game 3 today. Um, huh. Well, there's no point in delaying this tactic. Let's get it on the board. And I can run away. Thanks for the game. Not sure about my final move there, but given the time situation, I could have played just about anything. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.